Completely new topic, sir.
Gravitation field.
Yes.
Gravitational field. I will represent it by E. Sometimes you may find its representation by G also. I will give you the reason why we represent it by G sometimes, small g, and why we represent by E. E we represent because its nature is same, nearly same as that of electric field. And electric field we will be studying in 12th class. So because they have same nature, so if we represent this also by E, then no problem. We can represent gravitational field also by E. We represent it by G vector, small g vector, because its value comes out to be equal to acceleration due to gravity. G represents for acceleration. For example, m into g, we know already we are using small g. So because this value comes out to be equal to that only, so we call it as, we represent it by sometimes by small g also. So this is the main topic which we are going to discuss. Before I start telling you about E, let me start with Newton's law of gravitation first. It states that force between any two particles acts along the
Line joining the bodies.
line joining these
Bodies.
and direction will be attractive force. It will be attractive.
Yes.
It will attract each other.
Along the line joining and towards each other. Value, let us say it is particle number 1, particle number 2. Let's call this force as force acting on 1 due to 2, force acting on 2 due to 1.
2 due to 1. Yes.
We have this position vector. We can represent it as position vector of 2 with respect to 1.
With respect to 1.
And if I have to say unit vector in this direction, that will come out to be R21 cap.
Yes, sir.
Opposite of this will be
Minus R21 or R12.
R12.
I can say R12, I can say,
Minus R21.
or I can say
R12 cap.
minus of
R21.
R21, sir.
R21.
Yes.
Now, Newton's law states that this force, magnitude wise, if I'm not representing 2, 1, etc., and just representing by F only, it is just magnitude wise. It means magnitude wise, the force is proportional to the masses, product of the masses, and inversely proportional to
Radius. Distance between.
Radius.
distance.
Distance between two.
Distance between these. Let us call the magnitude of the distance as R21 magnitude wise is equal to R12 magnitude wise is equal to R, and F21 magnitude wise is equal to, by this section reaction we know, are equal and opposite.
Yes, sir.
Are equal and opposite, and this is equal to, let us say, F. So F, some proportionality constant will come now, that is G m1 m2 by R square. G is gravitational constant,
Yes, sir.
universal gravitation constant. And its value is equal to
0.67 into 10 power minus 11.
Into 10 to the power of minus 7.
into 10 power minus
Minus 11.
11. And dimensions will be Newton, because force is in Newton. Then when we take, if I take R square this side, then it will become multiplied by meter square also.
S square per
And
kg
if I
square,
take
sir.
Sir, meter square per kg.
per kg square,
Yes,
square
sir.
we can write like this.
Yes, sir.
These are the dimensions, SI units. So this is universal gravitation constant. And now we want to write in vector form also, because direction also. Let us say I want to find out F12 on 1 due to 2. Magnitude wise, this only, this F which we have found. But now direction, in which direction it is acting?
It will be along
R21
1 cap.
cap.
Yes, sir.
Then I can write it as G M1 M2 upon
Square into
R21
R2.
R21 square
yes.
into R21 cap, or
1 cap.
sometimes we can write G M1 M2 into
R21
R21 vector
by
divided by
R12 whole cube.
R21 cube.
Cubes.
That is F12. Force on 1 due to 2. We have to read F12 as force on 1 due to 2.
Yes, sir.
And we have to read R21 as position,
2 with respect to 1.
yes, position vector of 2 with respect
Due
to
to
1.
Yes, sir.
So here we have to notice that here it is left hand side it is F12, but right hand side it is R21. Now this is what we have to remember. We have to, let me put it in a box. G M1 M2 into R21 divided by R21 cube. Although I don't prefer to write it in this way, the way I have written. I actually prefer, wait a second, let me in fact remove it. I don't prefer this. I prefer to use
Should
it
we
like
do about notes?
this way. We'll write it. Reason is because it sometimes otherwise this wrong impression it gives as if it is inversely proportional to R cube, but we know it is inversely proportional to just R square. So I will prefer to write it in this way. This I will just means it is just magnitude separate and direction separate. Okay, this is how we will represent it. So
Sir,
yes,
should we do about notes, sir? Shall we write running notes here? Alright. That means whenever we come to college, we require that now, sir.
so you should write the notes.
Yes, sir. We are
Should we
writing
write,
notes.
sir?
You should always be writing the notes. You are not writing till now.
Yes, sir. Writing, sir.
But some parts are missing, sir. That means if you are somewhat fast at the time.
No notes if possible. Keep
Yes, sir.
writing. Make short notes. If time is not sufficient and you think that I have skipped and I have gone to the next page, at that time you are thinking that I'm on the last and I want to skip the page now. You take the screenshot. Afterwards you write. But notes are always useful. To revise notes will be useful only. From videos
Yes,
we
sir.
cannot revise. It will take a lot of time to revise from videos, but from notes it will be so easy to revise. We can do it quickly. So the formula which we have derived, this is applicable for a particle actually. But by some theorem, we call it as shell theorem. By that we are able to prove that if it is valid for a particle, then along with being valid for this particle, it is also valid for any spherically symmetric distribution, mass distribution. Any mass distribution which is spherically symmetric. Spherically symmetric means, for example, density may be varying. I'm not saying it is uniform density, but it should be varying equally in all directions.
Radially.
Means
Equally
radially,
in all
sir.
directions. Means if it is equally varying in all the directions, then we can say that then also this formula will still be applicable. The formula which we have written above, that formula will still be applicable.
Shape should be always spherical only, sir.
Along the line joining the centers from one mass to the other mass. Like this, the force will be acting on one mass and similarly on the other mass. Magnitude wise equal. Does not depend on the masses. Means one mass may be much larger. For example, if I say there is a ball and earth, what force earth applies on ball and what ball applies on earth? Somebody may think ball applies less and earth applies more. No, equal and opposite. Ball applies on earth, small m into g. Then earth also applies on the ball, same force, small m into g only, not capital M into g. No, let's say this is the mass of earth here. Let me show it by properly. This is mass of earth and there's a small ball on the top of it here somewhere. And on this small ball, we know what force we apply. We already know we apply m into g. And what force will be acting on the earth? Earth has mass capital M. It does not mean capital M into g. That will also be equal and opposite. So it will be small m into g only on earth also. Action reaction are always equal and opposite. This will be equal. Okay. This will not be different. What will be value of g here? As you know, total force, we know total force is equal to g capital M small m upon, let's say these are at a distance r. r square. R is the radius and it is nearly at a distance r only. Then I can say small g will become equal to g into capital
GM
M
by
by
R square.
r square. If it is just at a distance r only, it is at the surface. I'm assuming it to be at the surface only.
This value will get to be 9.8 knots. This value will get 9.8 approximately.
This value comes out to be, after calculation, it comes out to be approximately 9.8 meter. 9.8. Don't say meter per second square. That will not be proper thing, I think so. What should I call? Units will be different for this. If I say, not depends what I'm treating it as. If I'm treating it as a field or I'm treating it as a, I will, okay, first of all, let me come to field, then only I will discuss these things in detail. Here for the formality, I want you to just write it down once. Draw the vector diagram for this once. Position vector of 1, position vector of 2, mass of 1, mass of 2, force on 1 due to 2, and force on 2 due to 1. This is what we are writing, and okay, fine. Now let us move on to next thing, and how we got it. This thing here, here I have not given you any proof for it till now, as of now, but you can say, you can believe me for the time being, that it will be valid even for bigger masses, but the masses should be having spherically symmetric mass distribution. Now it could be a spherical shell, or it could be a solid sphere, or it could be non-uniform solid sphere also. Then also valid, but for non-uniform solid spheres, the density should be varying as a function of r, not necessarily directly proportional to r. It could be any function of r. It could be rho naught times any function of r, but with r only it should be varying. Then also
definitely it should be shell line, sir.
Definitely it should be a
Shell.
It should be what?
Spherical body, sir.
Spherical. Spherical is complete sphere, that too, not just a part of sphere. It should be complete sphere, not for a part of sphere. So now let me define. First of all, I think I can start with the field only. I will start with a gravitational field only. So let me start with gravitational field now. Idea for bringing the gravitational field E. Why do we bring it up? We know that, first of all, let me define it, then I will make you understand this thing. Field is equal to force acting, gravitational force acting per unit mass due to any body. Let's say this is some Earth maybe, and due to Earth I have here different bodies on the Earth in different places, also at different distances away. Here, different masses, m1 here and m2 here, and this is Earth here. So if I ask you this question, one is closer to us and one is farther away from us, on which it will apply more force, on the closer to us or farther away from us?
Closer ones.
On the closer one, it will apply more force.
So because distance is less, sir.
Yes. So what you said actually, that is not true, because we don't know about the masses. M2 may be more.
So it depends on masses.
I simply asked you that where it will apply more force. F11 due to Earth will be more, or F12 due to Earth will be more. Which will be more? And we cannot tell, because it will depend on M1 and M2 also. It does not just depend on distances. So therefore, which will have more stronger field? The answer which you gave me, not for the force. Answer you gave me for the field, without even knowing on your own. You by default you thought in this way, as if I'm asking which has where we have more field, stronger field. What is field here? Force per unit mass. If I divide by mass, it means the effect of mass will be now cancelled. The mass is bigger or smaller. That doesn't
now only on distance it depends.
Now it will just depend on distance. Means which is closer, on that more force, more field. Sorry, again I say again on that more field, and the one which is farther on that less field. So field gives us better idea of strength of the force which it
External
can apply.
field.
Means where it can exert a stronger pull. That idea we are not getting by the if we take force, then we are not getting idea that where it can exert a stronger pull, because it can exert a stronger pull that does not only depend on itself, but it also depends on the other mass. So if the mass is farther away but it is larger, then there also it can exert a stronger pull. But if you want to get, but what is the impact of this mass here, this mass, where it can exert pull on its own without being dependent on the other mass, then I can say on its own, if it is exerting pull, then that pull will be stronger when the distance is less. So means, but I don't want to consider the other mass into account, so I have to divide the other mass. So when I'm finding out the field of due to first body, if I want to find out the field due to first body, then I have to do like this something. Force acting on second body due to first body divided by mass of second body, that will be giving us field due to first body. It will be something like this. Field due to first body is equal to force acting on 2 due to 1. Okay, let me now write it down. What is E1 meaning here? E1 is not in this diagram. This is not based on diagram. Diagram is separate now. It is not. If I want to make a diagram for this, then I will have to give mass numbers M1 here. And then I have to give here maybe mass number M2 here. Then it will become correct. Then here field will be E1. Field will be E1 here due to at this point where the mass is kept. And mass M2 has to be multiplied. And that M2 times E2 will give us the total force acting on M2 due to E1. M2 times E1 is equal to F21. Force acting on 2 due to 1. So E1 is what? E1 is field, gravitational field we can say, but because this chapter is only of gravitation, so I will be just calling as field. But you understand, whenever I'm saying field, it actually means gravitational field. There can be several other fields, magnetic field, electric field, maybe other fields also. But here I'm talking about just gravitational field only. So it is, I will be calling field and it means gravitational field.
So
Field
that means
due
same distance.
wait a second. Field due to M1. Field due to M1 at P. What is P point here? P point is where M2 is placed. And what is here F21? Force between M2 and M1. Force between M2 and M1. Okay. So understand, force is due to 1 and the force acting on one body to the other body, that is F21, and divided by M2, that will give me field due to 1 in the location of M2. Field due to first mass in the location of M2 mass will be obtained in this way. Normally I will just call it as E equal to F divided by M, but we should understand what is meaning of E here, and E is due to what, and means this M, this E is not due to this M. This E is due to other M, which is not in this formula, which is not written in this formula. It is due to that M. So what, and finally this formula will simply turn out to be just equal to G into, let us call it M1 M2 by M2 and also R
Square into M2.
square. R is the distance. Then it simply comes out to be funny. Finally, it is simply coming out to be G capital M1 upon R between 1 and 2, R12 square. Simply. So R12 also we can simply say just R only, because we know this there are just two masses involved, so I don't have to be writing 1, 2. No need to write, just R is enough. And similarly, when we know this field, we want to find out due to one mass only. Field is defined due to one mass. There will be only one mass kept, and I will be asking what is the field due to that mass. So whenever we do that, whenever there is just one mass, and due to that I want to find out the field at any point at a distance R, at a distance R from it.
Just Gm by R square.
Then we will be just calling it as Now forget other things, just field we want to find here. Field at point P due to this mass, which is at a distance r away from the mass, and this mass is any spherical symmetric mass distribution. It could be solid sphere, or it could be any spherical symmetric mass distribution.
So direction of field will be towards the body only, no, sir? Direction of field will be towards the body only, no, sir? Always.
Towards the center, not towards the body.
This
Towards the
body.
body does not. What do you mean by towards the body? Wait, let's say this is a rod, and here is the point, and I want to find out the field due to this rod at this point, or the force acting on here. I will keep another mass. Here I will keep another mass. Now, what is the direction? If you think the direction is, and it is unsymmetric, not placed just symmetrically, then you don't know. It will be somewhere this side. But where this side? Will it be
Exactly
towards the
at the center. Yes,
not
sir.
center of it. Not center of it. No. It will not be towards the center of this rod. Similarly, what is this? There are certain things for which you don't define center. What is the center of this body? Tell me the center of this body. So if you think that we should define in this way that the force will be acting towards the center, that is itself a wrong thing. That is valid only and only for, I told before also, only and only for
Uniformly distributed.
Uniformly spherically symmetric distribution, mass distributions. Only for those, not for rectangle, not for sphere, not for cube, not for such cases.
Only for uniform
And we don't do for the bodies, sir, later also.
For those bodies we do, we will find out, but we have to do integration. Direct answer we don't have. For this also, actually, we prove it first. Here I have told you without proof, but we prove for sphere also why it is valid. Actually, the formula which Newton gave, that he did not give for the spheres. He gave only for
point masses.
But from here, there he proved. But from there he proved that whatever is valid for point masses, same is valid for the bigger spheres also.
Spherical bodies also. Yes.
That he proved. Newton himself proved that whatever is valid for point mass, same will be valid for the bigger spheres. But in case of bigger spheres, it will be appearing to be acting from the center. Then the formula will be remaining like that only. That is what Newton had proved. Okay. But what will be formula for other cases, that we are going to derive soon. Anyway, before we go to those cases, those complex cases, first of all, I want to discuss what is field at a high due to Earth, the gravitational field due to Earth, or due to any solid sphere. If I want to write it down, wait a second. Due to any solid sphere, let us say if I want to write it down. Let us take for spherical shell. I think I can take spherical shell also. What is field due to spherical shell? What is E due to spherical shell? If I want to find field at a point inside, then what I will do here, I will take a cone, imaginary cone inside with the vertex at that point. I will take a double cone, in fact, means I hope you're getting idea of this diagram, what I'm trying to make here.
Yes, I understood. Two cones with the same vertex at the point.
Yes, like this, two cones are double cone.
Yes, sir.
And if I take this masses, two masses I'm representing, one I'm calling as dm1, other I'm calling as dm2, two masses. These are small masses, and here there is a solid angle. Let us call that solid angle as d omega. If you remember solid angle is
Steradian.
solid angle is in steradian, and that is defined as solid angle is equal to a perpendicular divided by r square. That is how it is defined. Solid angle means if I have a small area, placed perpendicular to the radius. If I have a small area placed perpendicular to the radius, then the solid angle that area will be subtending, that will be equal to dA perpendicular divided by r square. That will be equal to dA perpendicular divided by r square. If I want to do it for a larger area, then I will have to go by this method. For larger, if I want to find out, then I will do like this. By dA along radius. I can say this way also, dA along radial direction. If radius is, if I have a point here and from there I am going at a distance r, then area vector should be pointing, dA vector will be having magnitude dA and direction r here. So I can say it is just component of dA along radial direction. If it is not in this direction, let us say r was this side, but area vector is this side, then dA is
Component
this
of that in that direction.
but component of vector I want to take along the radial line. So I
Cos
can call it
theta
as
or
dAr. So dAr I am also calling as dA perpendicular because it is perpendicular to the radial line.
Yes.
But if dA vector perpendicular is perpendicular to radial line, then dAr is along the radial line. So I can write it as dAr divided by r square also. That is also solid angle d omega. Means this area when joined with P point, when first of all place the area perpendicular to the r. If it is not perpendicular to r, then take a component of area, take component of this
It's
area,
perpendicular.
which becomes perpendicular to r. First to take the component, that component. After taking that let us call that as dr, and then take this solid angle d omega. This solid angle d omega will come out to be, by definition, it is just defined that way, dAr divided by r square. dAr divided by r square. That is the definition only. So if it is a complete sphere, what angle does the sphere makes at the center? So sphere will be making at the center the angle, which is simply dAr. Now if I want to integrate it, I want to find the total angle. Let us say it will come out to be omega, and for the total sphere, this is dAr. If I take 1 by r square, because r is constant form here at all the
Yes,
distance
sir.
at the center, I am finding at the center. Then I think I can simply say it is
4 pi r
turning out to be equal.
surface area, sir.
It turns out to be just equal to the total surface area.
Surface area 4 pi r.
One more thing I would like to say here, just to make the point further clear, that if I have a cone here, some cone is here, in that whatever plane I cut and whatever area I form here, that area may be cut by a plane. I may cut an elliptical area, or I may cut any other random shaped area, whatever area I cut here now.
We need to take
But
perpendicular.
at this point, the solid angle will not depend on that. That will remain fixed only. The way, if I have a plane angle here, normally we define the plane angle like this: length divided by r is equal to angle theta. But does it mean if I cut it by a line and this length comes out to be different now, then does it mean that it will depend on that length? No, it will not depend on that length, because it is the length of arc divided by r. Similarly, this will also be, this solid angle will also be not dependent on any other area. It will be dependent on the area subtended on this sphere. If I imagine a sphere, then area subtended on this sphere by the cone, area cut on the, let us say, take a spherical surface here. Is this solid angle clear or not? If it is clear, then I will proceed further now.
Yes, sir. That means it 3D no, sir. It does not depend on where we cut.
Means it could be, for example, this is it. This is a cone here, and this cone is subtending this area here. This area divided by r square. This area divided by r square will be only called as solid angle omega, if it is large angle now. But it will be, this area will be only area subtended on the sphere, or area cut on the sphere, on surface of a sphere. Area cut on surface of sphere by cone. Which cone? That cone only which has vertex at the center. Vertex at the center. That cone only, not any other cone.
Previous page.
Okay. Now, let us come back to our original discussion. Was mainly, I did all this just because it was a kind of revision for you. I have discussed these things before, but I wanted to use this concept now to derive E. How to derive that? Let us derive it here. Now, if I take this point here, vertex point of the cone, where solid angle subtended, we know these are the solid angle d omega, both sides, equal and opposite angles. And let us take a radial line passing through the center of the cone, axis of the cone, we can say, this way. In this radial line, this will, in this direction will be the component of dA. Wait a second. In this direction, whatever component we get, that will be component of dAr. Actual area vector will be in which direction? Now that area vector will be, let us say center is here. No noise, no discussion, please.
Sir, you are muted, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, screen has
Sir,
gone.
Screen share was.
Initial was not there.
Okay, wait a second. I don't know how I got muted myself only. I think that this boy
At times
muted
it
me.
was
By
happening like
mistake,
this.
sir.
My co-host accidentally muted me, I think so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, see here. This point, this C is at the center. If I take a line, red line, I'm coming out of the center. Then this red line, when it passes through the surface, then it will be perpendicular to the surface or not? It will be perpendicular to the
Yes,
Yes,
surface.
sir.
sir.
Perpendicular.
So this is, let us call it as dA1 and let us call it as dA2, area 1 and area 2. Now if I take the component of those area vectors along the axis of the
Yes, sir. Then we can get 40.
along the axis of the this cylinders, then we will be getting dA perpendicular, dA1 perpendicular, and here we will be getting
dA2 perpendicular.
dA2 perpendicular. Perpendicular means perpendicular to this black line. Radial line is which one here for the solid
It's
angle?
passing through P, sir.
When we want to define solid angle, then radial line is the lines along the axis of the cone. Line along the axis of the cone, we can say. Line along the axis of the cone. Those lines. So those dA2 perpendicular and their dA1 perpendicular. Now, this angle, I think by geometry, it is not difficult to prove. If it is theta, this is also theta, then this is also theta, then that is also theta. All these angles are equal. Why these are equal angles now? Are you able to understand or not?
Yes, same radius only now, sir.
Yes, sir.
Isosceles triangle it will form.
These are because, see, black line from surface to surface. If I take, let us take length A to B. AB is a chord. AB is a chord, and at the chord will be subtending equal angle at the with the radial lines. It will be making equal angles, theta both sides, because this is isosceles triangle. You understand that or not? CAB triangle. Observe CAB
Yes,
triangle.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Understood,
So
sir.
this you understood.
Radius, sir.
Then the other angle is also theta opposite side. Then we know dA1 perpendicular is what? Let me write the things which are my observation here. dA1 perpendicular is equal to dA1 cos theta.
Theta, yes,
Similarly,
sir.
dA2 perpendicular is equal to
Cos theta.
dA2 cos theta. If I know these things, then I can tell now what is the field at point P due to these opposing masses. The field at point P will be GdM1 by, let us take P to B distance, PB square. That will be filled in one direction. In which direction this field will be? I think by, field will be always I said before or not?
Towards the center.
I forgot to mention. I should write here. Field will always be magnitude wise GM by R square, but direction wise along minus R cap. Gravitational field. It is always like this only.
You said it, sir, before when I asked.
Because it always is a attractive force. So it will always be pointing towards.
It always
will be
towards
along
the
minus R
word.
cap. Towards the
Center.
body.
Center of, yes.
So now we want to find out the field at a P point due to B mass. Then it will be towards B. It will be towards B. Then I can say it is towards which direction? It is towards direction PB cap. Right?
Sir.
Sir,
This is field at P point. It is E at P due to DM1, which is at B, we can say. this is one field we found. Similarly, what will be G into dm2 upon PB
PA square.
PA
Square
PS
PA cap, sir.
PA square into PA cap. But we know PA is unit vector and PB is unit vector, but both are in opposite directions. So I can say these are minus of each other.
Yes, sir.
So let us call one field as E1 and the other field as E2. One due to mass 1, 2 due to mass 2. What is the net field at P? Net field will become here.
E1 bar minus
Field
E2
will
bar.
become here. This we can call as DE1 and DE2, small because it is just due to small elements only. Let us call DE is equal to DE1 plus DE2 vector addition. So when we add vector, and these vectors are in opposite directions, I think here. Are these in opposite directions? Yes, these are in
Sir,
opposite
opposite
directions.
direction.
So what it will become then, this will be cancelling each other. And what will be the values? Let us find the values first. Values will come out to be G into dm1 upon, wait a second, I should do something before only. dm1 can be written as sigma into da1. Sigma into da1 upon pb square. Upon pb square, I can call it as, let us call it r1 upon r1 square into r1 cap also I can write if I want, or maybe pb cap only is okay, into pb cap. Now we see here one thing, that da1 can be written as
1 by R1 square we can write as
da1 we can write as da1 perpendicular into secant theta, g into sigma upon r1 square into
DA1 in
da1 perpendicular
first.
secant theta
yes, sir.
into pb cap. Secant theta only, don't say cos.
R1.
Secant only, sir.
That only. What it will become next? I think it can be written as
A1 perpendicular by R1.
Square we can write as that.
that is d omega. That is d omega. So I can write it as g into sigma into d omega into secant theta into pb cap. That is de1. Now it is better. Similarly, de2 by similarly I'm doing now. Similarly, it will become g into sigma into
Sir.
d
Into
omega
PA cap become
into secant theta into
PA cap.
pa cap. And now we will use this formula. And
Here
then
it
we will
becomes
g into, then we can write g into sigma into d omega into secant theta into pb cap plus pa cap, but these are equal and opposite of each other, so this will cancel and total will become.
0.
So I can always choose opposite in pairs. Any two elements I can take in opposite directions in conical form.
Sides
And
we are
there-
always at 0.
At the vertex it will be 0. So what we are getting idea that at the center of the any hollow hemispherical uniform shell, uniformity should be there. Where we use the condition of uniformity, sigma is same. If sigma 1, sigma
So
2,
density was same.
if sigma 1 and sigma 2, then definitely this will not cancel. As long as sigma 1 and sigma 2 are same, then only we can take this thing. So sigma has to be same. So for same sigma only we are able to do that. So we should remember this thing now, that therefore field due to hemispherical shell, field due to hemispherical shell at all points inside uniform, also I should mention again, field due to uniform hemispherical shell at all points inside the shell will be equal to 0. Very important point. One more thing I would like to add here, null point. Null point is the point where the field is 0. Point where gravitational field will be 0 will be called as null point. So if we can say that all points are null points for the hemispherical shell, as long as the null points are inside the hemispherical, sorry, not, why, wait a second, why I'm calling it as hemispherical? What has happened to me?
Spherical shells.
It was spherical, not hemispherical. Why I'm calling hemispherical and nobody is telling me also. This is uniform spherical shell. It's only spherical. For hemispherical, obviously not valid. For spherical, all the points are inside. Then only we are able to cancel, no, from both sides.
Yes, sir.
For hemispherical shell upwards it will be. Sir?
Is valid for shell, whether it is thick or thin doesn't matter, because if it is valid for thin shell, then it will automatically be valid for thick shell also. Can you say why? See, reason is this. Let us say we have a thick shell. If we have a thick shell, then every thick shell can be assumed to be composed of several thin concentric thin spherical shells. So
Yes,
if it
sir.
is valid for each shell at a time, then it will be valid for the whole structure also. So therefore, this thing is valid now for thin shells as well as thick shells. So for example, if I have this thick shell here with a inner radius A and outer radius B, and I'm asking you, what is field for points R less than A, then your answer should be for R less than equal to, I should not say anything, less than only. For R less than A, field should be 0.
Yes, sir. Null points all are.
These are all null points, and here field will be 0. If I null point, actually they ask to find out, and not for necessarily for this case. They ask null points to find out for other cases, like 2-point masses are there, and where will be the null point of these 2-point masses for these 2-point masses. I will be
Yes, sir. You
discussing
can
those.
take.
I will find out for 2-point masses and for 3-point masses. But before that, I wanted to prove something more for the shell. How to tell now for the complete thick. Sorry, let me take some solid outside. I want to prove for outside now. This we proved only for inside. For thin is okay. For thin shell is okay, but I want to prove for outside points. What will be filled at a outside point? If we can prove that also, then finally we are getting answer. Then now we are able to prove. We want to prove that for the outside, it should be appearing to be coming from the center. We want to prove that. So what is the formula for that? How to prove it? Let us think about it now, little bit. I'm taking a cone again. Taking a cone with here, this point I want to find this time, and I'm taking a cone again. And I want to prove for these are perpendicular directions. Here we have a solid angle. So our area vectors are totally in this direction, because this net area vector will be in this direction. Let's call it dA1. Let us call it maybe dA2 and dA1. And distances up to 2 will be R2, and up to from P2, let us call it B. PB will be R2, and PA will be R1. Also, if I take a radial line from the along the axis,
Doing the same manner now, sir.
As
Perpendicular.
like this, if we are taking a radial line along the axis,
Yes.
then I think the same way as we did before, we have to take component of dA2 perpendicular to this and dA1 perpendicular to this. And let us consider the angles now. This angle is theta. This is theta here. The other one will also be theta. Then this one will be theta. Then this one will be theta. Then we will get dA2 cos theta, dA1 cos theta, and we want to find out the field here. But we want to, this time, I want to find out field. Again, wait a second, theta. I want to see what is this angle here. And that angle I don't know, unfortunately. Do I know? Let it be alpha. At last, what I want to do, let me tell you what I want to do at last. I want to find out the field at P. Due to A, as well as due to B. Let us consider mass at B to be dm2 and mass at A to be dm1. Net field I want to find, but I want to take the component of the field finally. In which direction? I want to take the component of the field finally to be along the direction of center, because I want to find what is the field along the center. Or or maybe I want to prove that the field along this direction, okay, whatever it comes out to be, I think that field will be cancelled out by field along. I can take a similar cone in reflection of this. Imagine I take a reflection of this downwards and I take a cone downwards. Wait, let me draw the diagram slide. I don't want to draw the diagram actually. It will make diagram look dirty, but I will just make it and I will remove it again. Imagine I can make a new cone here also symmetrically, exactly B dash, A dash, etc. And then I can say that this will also exert field. This will also
Same
exert
like
field in this direction.
so same for alpha.
You know that these components will cancel out. So finally field will be remaining along towards center only. So finally field will remain towards center. You understand? Finally field will remain towards center. That is correct or not?
Yes, sir.
If I know finally field remains towards center because other components will get cancelled out, then I have to just focus on finding field towards the center. And if I'm able to find that, then integrating that, we will get the net field also. So what is the field due to these two towards the center? Let us try to find it out. How to find out? First of all, DE1. DE1 means field due to A or due to DM1. Let us consider this as R1 distance. What is R1 distance? I hope you understand. I am representing P to A distances. A is a point here at the center of the mass, shaded mass. PA is R1 and PA2 is equal to R2.
PB is R2.
And
PB,
this is capital R. Capital R means C to A distance is equal to C to B distance. Oh, sorry. Why am I
PB,
doing
sir.
that?
PB.
C to A, C to B, that is equal to C to A, C to B, that is
Sir,
equal to
smaller.
R, capital R, capital R. That is radius. Small r I will represent. C to P I will represent by small r. I want to write answer in terms of small r finally. And the total mass of this is given as capital M. So let us find DE1. What is DE1? Let us see now. Can we get it or not? So this we can write as
DM1
G into DM1 divided by R1 square, I think. And that we can write as G into sigma into DM1. DM1 can be written as DA1 upon R1 square. But DA1 I can write as we did before. DA1 I can write as
of course, secant data. Sir.
DA1 perpendicular.
Into secant data.
And G into sigma into DA1 perpendicular divided by R1 square into secant theta, or as we wrote last time, G into sigma into D omega. Which omega here? This is D omega here.
D into omega 1.
Somebody may think that it is subtending angle at the center, and that also we can call as d omega. I'm not talking about that d omega. I'm talking about the omega in the cone. Omega, this cone, what is subtended in the cone?
Yes, sir, yes.
We can make another cones also. We can make other cones, and we can talk about their angles of subtended also. But no, I'm not talking about that right now. So be clear, I'm talking about this d omega. Therefore, I'm taking component along this direction of dA. If I talk about other, then I will be taking component in other direction. Then I will not be taking in this direction. Okay, so right now I'm taking in this direction. Anyway, so what do we get now? D omega into secant theta divided by R1 square. Now, this time, both masses are in the same direction of P. If they are in same side, then their effect will not
They will
cancel,
get
they will
added up,
add
sir.
up. They will add up. This time, they will not cancel each other. This time, they will definitely add up only. Let me make some space here for writing it down. This is DE1. What is DE2? Similarly, G sigma D omega secant theta exactly same divided
by
by.
R2 square.
Yes.
Then what is? I don't want that also. I told you before also. I wanted
Sir,
component along.
R2 square.
2, sir.
I wanted component along the center.
Then we can take E cos alpha now, sir. E1
Then
plus
I can
E2.
take DE1 cos alpha, which will
Plus
become
D2
G
cos alpha.
sigma D omega into secant theta divided by.
Sir, the even how
Yes.
their solid angle given again by R1 square y, sir.
I don't know what you say. Oh, sorry. Yes, solid angle will not remain. You are right. Why I'm writing that?
Yes, sir.
Here also- right only. Sorry. Then G into this into secant theta into what is it? Cos alpha.
Yes, sir.
Next time it will be G into sigma into D omega into secant theta into again cos alpha only.
Same, sir. Here also write cos alpha. D2 cos alpha.
Again cos alpha, and this will also be DE2 cos alpha only. Cos alpha. What is net resultant? DE1 plus DE2 cos alpha, or that is equal to, finally, I want you to find out DE due to these two. What is that? Let us see once, check it once. G into sigma into G into sigma into
Twice.
d omega into secant theta into cos alpha. That is what we are getting finally. Sum of these two times this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Both
sir.
are
Two
Two
times.
times this. That is what we are getting. That is what we are getting. In fact, I'm noticing that I think no need to take two times. We can take just once, and then we can integrate in the entire.
Then 180 minus theta you can write now, sir.
Everything I want to write in terms of R. I think this time it was not helpful to convert into R1 square. I wanted to write everything into d omega. In this time, I think it would have been better if I would have written everything in terms of small r, because ultimately answer should come out to be in terms of small r and sigma and r. Our answer can be in terms of small r and sigma and capital R. That is our
Now
main
you
concern.
see basic. Now you can change d omega now.
Now we can say
We can change d omega now, sir, if you want.
we can change d omega. I think we can change d
Yes,
omega.
sir.
So how to change d omega? I'm thinking about that. Let me try to convert d omega. D omega we will write as d omega we will write as dA perpendicular by, or dA, let us call it in terms of d only, dA into dA1 into dA1 into dA1 into cos theta, dA1 into cos theta upon R square,
R1.
R1 square. That is this.
Yes.
That is this. Or I can say finally, rather than changing d omega, let us change d omega secant theta back. D omega secant theta was coming from dA upon dA1 upon R1 square. dA1 upon R1 square it is coming out to be, and dA1 upon R1 square I can write as R square into another omega which will be formed by that inside this omega here. I can write in terms of this omega. Let us call it d omega star or something, d omega dash upon R1 square. In terms of that, I am getting in this way if I want to write in terms of that. Next,
Both
let's
are
see
equating, sir. Both the d omegas.
what to do about cos alpha also. I have to think now. What to do about cos alpha? Cos alpha I can write as cos alpha multiplied by cos alpha. Let us say d omega secant theta into cos alpha, then will become R square into d omega dash. This is that omega which was not from this red one, but this is at the center.
Sir,
Let us call it
green
d
to
omega
green
dash.
one.
Then into upon R1 square only into cos alpha. How to write cos alpha? Cos angle formula. Cos theta is equal to, in terms of R1 and small r, I want to write. I think I can write cos alpha as R1 square plus R square minus 2 R1 R into
Capital R, sir, that is. Minus
A
capital
square
R square by 2R1.
minus capital R square it will be.
Square by 2R1,
Minus
sir.
capital R square by 2 small r into
Yes, sir. Again R1.
small r1.
Yes.
Right. That is cos alpha. So we can write cos alpha there, and but then it is in terms of R1 or
It's getting complicated.
it is becoming complex only. No, actually,
Simple term.
it's a very simple. There's a very simple method for this given in HCV. So don't worry that much about the answers. We can get answers easily, and otherwise also nobody derives it again and again. We just remember it once. That okay, it will be same. We know it will be coming out to be outside, the field will be same as if it is coming out from the center. Means as if these masses are just kept at the center. Means our field should come out to be like this. What I was expecting. I was expecting answer should be this one. Now I don't know whether I was expecting it to be right or not. G dm1 plus m2 dm2, because there were two masses being taken into account. G into
R
dm
square.
upon r square. This was what I was expecting answer to be, and means I was expecting it to be G into sigma into dA1 plus dA2 upon r square. I was expecting this answer. Now here, does it look like that or not? I am thinking now. Cos alpha. After putting cos alpha, is it coming out to be something like this or not? Means if it has to be equal to this, then I should be getting cos alpha upon r1 square plus cos alpha upon r2 square should come out to be equal to dA1, not
So
dA1.
that is smaller only, sir. You are expecting a capital R.
I am expecting smaller only because the distance from the center is smaller only. The distance from the finally answer should be in terms of
You said before, yes, sir, from center.
so center to P distance only in that terms only I am expecting answer to be center to P. That will be the net force finally due to these two masses. I think so along the center. Then only the resultant force will also be like that only along the center towards the center. Okay. If you due to these two, it is coming out to be that much force along the center. Then due to all others also, it will be coming out to be that only.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Then we will be getting the same answer. So let me see whether by this we are getting that or not. Where we are up to with this we have reached G sigma d omega. In terms of sigma, what I expected. In terms of sigma, I expected it to be G sigma. G sigma is there also. Let us consider G sigma to be 1. Then I am expecting this remaining term d omega secant theta cos alpha. This I am expecting to be and this thing dA1 upon R1 R square plus dA2 upon R square. Now is it right or not? That I have to see. Cos alpha. R square d omega dash upon into cos alpha upon R1 square plus cos alpha upon R2 square. That is what we are getting by adding these two up. And then that is R's, right? Wait a second. What is what I am expecting? I am expecting this answer, and I am expecting it from coming from which place?
Sir,
Coming from.
good, I mean, same only, sir. HCR, man.
That only is better, I think so. We can go for that only.
So you are also using the same method almost.
That is easier, much easier. SCR method is much easier.
Yes, sir. That means you are differentiating here to get in terms of R.
We are trying to derive in a different way, but okay, no problem. Leave it for the timing. Let us. I will see if I am able to derive by this way. Then I will tell you this method also. Okay, but today it is taking more time, so let us leave it here. Next we have these discussions about. Okay, so for the timing. Let us say we found out the field. We did not find it out although, but okay, you can see in SCV, and I can tell you.
Yes, in the formula, sir.
I'm just telling you the formula directly now that for outside point field is just equal to G into capital M divided by R square for uniform spherical shell. And if it is valid for spherical shell, then it will automatically be valid for thick shell as well as complete solid sphere also. If it is valid for the shell, because a complete solid sphere can always be supposed to be composed of several small
shells.
So that will be valid for all the cases, and direction will be as usual along minus r cap means along the inward direction towards the center. That is the formula for field. This we can sometimes call it as field outside, E outside, or we can say E for r greater than capital R. Capital R means radius of this. E r
Yes,
greater
sir.
than capital. This is it, and it is actually normally we do like that. So let me do that only. Due to this shell, I will be drawing two graphs here. One I will be plotting for shell, and another I will be plotting for solid. Solid sphere I cannot plot. For shell only I can plot now. Solid sphere I will plot afterwards. For shell I am plotting. For shell the graph will go like this.
Yes, sir. Inside 0 it
Yes,
was,
sir.
and
Inside
R was
0, sir.
increasing.
Inside.
It was 0
Sir,
exactly.
Sir, it will be on x-axis now, sir.
Inside the field will be 0. Inside
Yes,
the
sir.
field will be
X-axis.
Sir, inside 0, sir.
E
Inside
inside is
0.
0 and E
Suddenly it will
outside
be at that.
equal
It will
to
be maximum
E
and
Decreasing.
m by
It will be
r.
highest on the surface of the sphere, sir.
Yes, from
Sir, on the surface.
just inside to just outside, it will be varying quickly. From just inside
Yes,
to
sir.
just outside, it will be varying quickly. How will it be varying from just inside to just outside? If I plot a graph for a thick shell, then we will understand how it varies. For thick shell, the graph is somewhat different. I will prove for the thick shell, then after that I will plot that graph also. First of all, before the thick shell, we can, I think I can discuss one thing here. Gauss law in gravitation I can discuss. Gauss law. Gravitation. What does it mean? It means that if I have any mass inside any closed surface, if I have mass m inside any closed surface, then the field due to that mass, the flux due to that mass, flux will means, what is meaning of flux first of all? Gravitational field flux.
Field passing
Flux
through
Number
by
of field lines
E
passing through
dot
an area.
E dot
the
ds.
dA bar. Yes, bar. Yes.
Ds is surface area. It
Yes,
is
sir.
area only. E dot ds, that is flux. We represented by phi also. First of all, how to find out the flux? Flux we can find out by taking E dot ds. E dot ds. If I have a point mass here and I want to find out the flux passing through small cone coming out of it.
So is it a closed integral, sir? Sir, I am mute.
Okay, right. Now screen sharing is also there or not?
Yes, sir, it does it.
Okay.
Sir, there's
So I am saying that I don't know how much you are finding newly written. This one you note D5 flux. I want to integrate the flux. See, I took a small cone here.
sir,
This
how
cone,
much one?
this cone I took,
R1.
and I found the flux passing through this. That flux comes out to be minus G into dm m into d omega. Then I integrated the flux throughout the total surface area. If I integrate it throughout the total surface area, what will be the total solid angle subtended at this point mass m? Total solid angle subtended will become minus G into m into minus G into m into minus G into m into total omega. Total omega will be 4 pi.
4 pi omega, sir. 3 divided.
So total flux will come out to be minus 4 pi gm. We will remember it.
Yes, sir.
Minus 4 pi gm will be the flux, and that is the statement of Gauss law. What does Gauss law state? Gauss law states that field flux through the closed surface area over this closed integral means this closed integral. This means here closed surface area.
Yes, sir.
Closed surface area. What do you mean by closed surface area? Means which has some volume closed inside it. Means which have some volume closed inside it. There is a volume enclosed within it. Okay. So in that closed surface area, that total flux will always come out to be equal to minus 4 pi gm, irrespective of the shape of area. And we know already, we took with random shape, and in random shape also it comes out to be same. It is not for the sphere, it is valid for all the cases. Whatever
All
the shape it may
objects.
carry. For all objects. Okay. It also, there is something called as field lines. Field lines.
Field lines.
So field lines means I can draw imaginary lines coming from the mass. I can draw imaginary lines coming from the entering into the mass, and those imaginary lines which are entering into the mass from all directions, spaced equally from each other, as far as possible, make them space equally. This gives us idea of the field strength. These field lines give us idea of the field strength, where the and also direction of the field. These are representing.
Yes, sir. Try to only know.
These are in the direction of the field, and these are always more at the far away distance and very less more at a closer distance and less at the farther away distance. Okay, here
Intensity of field lines, we say, sir.
these are more here and these are less here. So intensity of the field lines, where the field lines are coming more per unit area, there the field strength will be more. Where
Yes,
the
sir.
field lines are less per unit area, there the field will be less.
Less.
So these are, what are these field lines? These are representing direction of gravitational force. Representing direction of gravitational force. How to obtain the direction of gravitational force from these? Direction of gravitational force we can obtain from this by just drawing tangent to the field lines. If I have two masses here, one mass here and another mass here. If I ask you, what is the direction of force acting on the mass on some point at this point here? Then I think you know that this will pull up along its side and this will pull along its own side. So overall field will come out to be in which direction? Downward direction.
Direction, sir.
Then here the field line will be definitely this side.
Tangential to the line.
This is how the field line will be here. Here the means always the tangent to the field lines will give us the direction of the field. Tangent to the field lines will give us the direction of the field. Or we can do opposite. We can keep on taking different points and we can draw tangents. We can draw the net field directions in those places. And after knowing the net field directions in those places, we can effectively get the idea of this field lines. For example, if I take a point mass, what will be the direction of field here at this point P? At point P here, towards the force. Field acts towards the force. Why field acts towards the force? Because field is equal to F upon mass. So it is in the direction of the force. If I take another mass here and on this mass the force will be towards the mass, towards small m. Always it will be like this only. Here this way, this way, this way. Then you notice how the direction is automatically coming out to be of the field lines.
Yes,
Like
sir.
this. This will be radially inverse. steadily coming towards the mass. That is how the field lines will be for the point mass. But when there are multiple masses, then we can understand something now here, that here
And it will be
effect of other
tangent.
mass will not be much. Here it will be towards us, this mass, but effect of other mass is very less, not that much.
Yes, sir.
Somewhat effect will be there, because of which it will be not exactly towards this mass, but slightly deviated from here, because other mass is also pulling. Means it will be like resultant of two forces. One will be this side, other will be the towards other mass, and resultant will be in some other direction like this. Now I will be drawing resultant only. So I think you can get idea that resultant will be like this. Here
Yes, sir.
resultant will be like this. This way, 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 this way. So we are getting overall field lines. These are nothing but field lines. If I join all these, first we are trying to examine the forces acting in different places. Then we are joining those, and we are getting the field lines effectively. Anyway, so the point is number of field lines per unit area, number of field lines per unit area gives us the strength of field at that point. Field per unit area near a point.
So then, what is the definition of flux, sir? That is
P
also
dot-
same.
Yes.
Field lines passing through unit area.
That means number of lines passing through unit area also decided.
Yes, we can say that way. Number of field lines passing through unit area, we can call that as field flux.
Yes,
So
sir.
by definition, we can say number of field lines per unit area will be giving us more field strength in that place, right? Field lines
Yes, sir.
cannot cross each other. Field lines cannot cross each other. Why they cannot cross each other? Because field line at any point gives us the direction of the force at that point, and direction of the force will always be in one particular direction. It cannot be in two directions. Due to two masses, there will be two forces in two directions, but the resultant will always be in the same direction or not? Resultant cannot
Only
be
in one direction only it be, sir. Yes, sir.
Therefore, the field lines don't cross each other. The field lines, therefore, don't cross each other. These don't cross each other.
No
Because,
number of bodies also, no, sir.
yes, because if they cross each other, then we can have two directions of the forces acting at a point, but that is not possible. Resultant force will always be in one particular direction. Resultant cannot be in two directions. So therefore, the field lines don't cross each other, because the field lines point in the direction of resultant field. These point in the direction of resultant field at a point. Next, we can say the field lines don't form closed loop. The field lines don't form closed loop. The reason is
Electrostatics it can form, no, sir.
why these don't form closed loop. Reason is these will be coming from infinity and entering into masses. So they cannot form closed loop. These will always be coming from infinity and they will be entering into the masses. They will be finally entering into the masses. So this cannot form closed loop. If they are forming a closed loop, it means without any mass, there is no mass present anywhere, and without any mass being present, the force is still acting everywhere. See, there was no extra mass present here, because and the field is here in this direction, and here it is in this direction, here it is in this direction. That will never happen. The field line has to terminate, it has to end at a mass, but these are not ending anywhere, and these are just forming closed loop, which is not possible. So that therefore it's, and we can say another thing also here. This thing we can say in another way. We can say the field lines are conservative. The gravitational field is conservative field. What is conservative meaning? I don't know. You remember or not?
So it will follow
Gravitational force or field. Gravitational force. If force is conservative, then we can call that corresponding field also to be conservative. Conservative. I told you before. I told you one thing, that if you don't know what is conservative, just remember one thing. That if you remember some potential energy term based on that, then it has to be conservative only. Although I defined it in this way, and we know gravitational potential energy is there, so we know it has to be conservative. But I told you in another way also. I told you that those field lines are conservative field lines,
not done by the force in a closed loop.
which do not form closed loop, those are conservative field lines. Or those field lines are conservative field lines which are path independent. The work done by which is path independent. Work done by which is zero in a closed loop. That is what we can say, zero in a closed loop. Number we can say in this way. Or work done by which is independent of path followed. Such field lines and such forces are called as conservative forces. Such forces are called as conservative forces. Or we can say the forces which are originating from a source or ending at a source, like mass. They are ending at a mass or they are originating from the mass. If they are ending at a mass, then those field lines will be called as automatically conservative field lines. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
electric field lines can form a closed loop due to two different charges.
Yes.
Electrostatic field lines don't form a closed loop.
They also don't form, sir.
They also don't form. They are like these gravitational field lines only. Electrostatic field lines don't form closed loop. Electric field lines can form, but not due to charges. Those are different electric field lines. There are electric field lines which are produced because of variation of magnetic field. If I take a magnet and I move magnet to and fro, then that can also produce electric field line in space. Such electric field lines will be in closed loop. Okay. Such
Yes, sir.
electric
Not
field
due
lines
to
can form
charges.
closed loop.
The electrostatic field lines
But
can't
you-
be.
If there are charges at rest, if the charges are at rest, then the electric field lines cannot form closed loop simply if the charges
Okay,
are at
sir.
rest. But when the charges are moving, then it is a different scenario. We will discuss that.
Static charges can't.
Static charges.
Yes,
Those
Yes,
are
sir.
means these
They-
are all related. See, conservative, being conservative or not being conservative, these are all related to each other. What are the things related to each other? Work done, independent of path. Work done, zero in a closed loop. Or field is conservative. All these are same thing only.
Same.
All these are same only. Okay. All these are same only. So now, and one more thing we can say, although that field lines cannot suddenly change like this. These are coming and suddenly taking a sharp turn. That is also not possible.
It's curve only possible.
There will be a curve only, but there will not be a sharp turn. Because if there is a sharp turn, then there at a point, there can be two forces, one pointing along x, another pointing in some other angle. So that is also like two field lines are cutting each other and they cannot cut each other. So they cannot form a sharp turn comes from this point only, above this point only. They don't cross each other or they cannot form a sharp turn. Same thing. Not possible. Taking a sharp turn, not possible. All right. Next we have so Coulomb force is conservative force. Coulomb field lines are conservative field lines, and this force is a conservative force. And we have a potential energy term for it. We will derive it later on, not now. So as of now, if I let us at least finish this solid sphere part. For solid sphere, what is the field? I am asking you to find out the field at a point inside the solid sphere.
A random point or at the center?
At a point which is between 0 to r, means E inside. What is E inside due to solid sphere? Uniform solid sphere. Having density rho, mass m, radius r. You can give answer in terms of density or you can give an answer in terms of mass and r. Your choice. At a distance r we have to find. At r distance away. Where r lies between small 0 to capital R. So to find
Sir,
that, we can use Gauss law.
Sir,
We
4
can
by
use
3
Gauss law.
into.
We can use a Gauss law here. Listen, I am giving you application of Gauss law. How to use Gauss law? We will here take a shaded portion here. We already know that due to outside shell, it will be 0 inside. So only due to shaded portion, it will be something. So if I take a closed surface around the shaded portion. If I take a closed surface around the shaded portion, then according to Gauss law, E dot ds integral along the closed surface is equal to minus 4 pi g into mass enclosed within the closed surface. I think I forgot to mention enclosed. I should have written here m is mass enclosed in closed surface. Diagram I made correct only. This mass was enclosed within the closed surface, but I forgot to mention that it is m enclosed. I should have written specifically that it is m enclosed. So here also, whatever is the mass enclosed, not the total mass. Total mass may be m. I am only interested in
Only shaded portions are talking.
I think you know what will be the mass enclosed. We can find it out or not by density. We can find it out. We know
Yes, sir.
this will be rho
Into
into
4 pi r cube, sir.
small r cube.
Yes, sir.
That will be equal to E into 4
4 pi
pi
r square.
with minus sign. Why minus? Because we know field is inwards, but area vector we take outward as positive. This is convention. By default, we take area vector to be outward positive, so angle comes out to be 180 degrees. So this will be negative, but negative will cancel. Negative will cancel.
E comes to be positive.
G rho into small r
Into 4
into 4 by
4 by 3 pi r.
3 pi.
2 by 3.
4
Yes,
by
sir.
3 pi g pi rho 4 by 3 pi g rho r.
Yes, sir.
That is it. That is important relation, which I can also write as 4 by
GMR by R cube.
G into GM by G
E
M
by
by
4 pi r cube into r, sir.
Sir,
R cube into
by
smaller,
R smaller
Yes, sir.
S,
4
sir.
by 4 pi caps.
which I can write as GM by R square into smaller by capital R, which I can write as G acceleration due to gravity at the surface into small r by capital R. It is coming out to be like that. Or you can call it as field at the surface. Means what is it? It is meaning just I am writing E at r equal to r multiplied by small r into small r, that is r less than equal to r. This is the formula. Means if I want to find out for r less than r, then it will be for r equal to r into small r by capital R. That it will be.
It is directly proportional to r.
Yes, it is directly proportional to r. So
Or inside the body.
diagram will be like this now, as I was drawing.
Increasing, sir, inside.
And then outside,
It
this
decreases side.
Maximum
This
at
is
R
for
only,
R
sir,
equal
on the
to R.
surface only.
this is for r equal to r. For r greater than r, as we already know, that will be just like a normal
Yes, sir.
point mass, GM by r.
Gm by r square.
Yes, sir.
And for this is E outside. For E outside, just like a normal point mass only. And for inside, as you have now written, E r greater than equal to r is this, and E r less than equal to r is equal to what should I write? G capital. No, I will be writing simply E at the surface into
Sir, small or by capital R.
just short form.
Smaller
Short
by
form of
capital.
writing. E at the
Yes, sir.
surface, I will write here Gm by r square. That is it. And what was for the shell? For the shell, the graph was similar, but that started from here and then went up. And
Side
outside
equals 0, sir,
Inside
actually.
it is 0, sir.
it is 0
inside it
initially.
is 0.
Outside same, inside different. Inside it is straight line, and that was inside 0. Okay. E
Yes, sir.
versus R graph. For this was for solid uniform
Uniform sphere.
sphere. Let us now prove for a long rod, very long rod. If I have a very long rod, what will be the formula for that? Very long rod. Infinite rod, we can say, goes from minus infinity to plus infinity. Because it is infinite, mass should not be given for this, because mass will become infinite only. So what is the lambda given for this? Lambda means mass per unit length. That is given, let us say, it is given only mass per unit length. That is given. Our answer should be in these terms. First,
We'll also by Gauss law, you can do that, sir.
but how to apply Gauss law, that I want to make it clear now. I told you Gauss law is valid even if I take a random Gaussian surface around it, random shaped. But should I take a random shaped surface area? No, I should not take it.
No.
I should take some
Cylinder.
Fixed area. Cylinder,
which
sir, as
kind of
per
surface? Which kind of surface? I should
it's
think about
having some
symmetry.
area.
Things about some symmetry. Which surface is symmetrically enclosing it? I think cylindrical surface
Cylinder
is
only,
symmetrically
sir.
enclosing it. I should take symmetrical surface, cylindrically enclosed. Can I say that it is not valid for other surfaces? For such surface,
Valid, sir, but we
Valid
can't
for
find.
it is valid for those also. I can prove it, and in fact, in the beginning we proved from the random surface only. It is valid for this also. But to do it for this, it will be complicated task, and to do it for the cylinder, it will be easier task. Why it is easier? Because see, what is the formula which we want to write? Formula. Let me go to the formula again. Gauss law formula. Gauss law formula. Start. Remember this, and it is important. We should remember it. E dot ds is equal to
Equals to
minus 4
flux
pi
minus
g
V.
into mass enclosed. So we don't have any difficulty in the right hand side. Mass enclosed is very easy to find. Can you tell mass enclosed in the sphere? Yes. Can you tell mass enclosed in the cylinder? Yes. That is not
Yes, sir.
difficult.
Sir.
Just you need to give me what is the length of the this, and you can tell the
Lambda
mass
into L
enclosed.
gives mass.
Just to volume and the density, you can.
There is no difficulty in right hand side of the term, but difficulty is in the left hand side of the term. So closed. Left hand side I should choose in such a way which simplifies my integration. Which can simplify my integration? The things which can simplify my integration will be these. These ideas I should keep in mind. Number one, if angle between E and ds remains fixed angle, that does not change with from place to place, or angle between E and ds is just 90 degree. If it is 90, then E dot ds will become 0.
Yes, sir.
So this idea should keep in mind. And one more idea, that E should be constant in magnitude wise. Why it should be constant magnitude wise? So that I can take it out of the integration. So in order for E to be constant magnitude wise, do you think I should take surface area which is at different distances from the axis? From the
Same distances.
Same distance.
That should be at same distance. So therefore this cylinder is ideal choice. It is at the same distance away. All the points are at the same distance away. But wait, these points are not at the same distance away. The disk points. It has
Yes,
a
sir.
disk.
It will make 0, sir, actually. Perpendicular.
But yes, correct. This area vector will be this side.
Yes, sir. And E bar will be perpendicular.
And here field will be perpendicular to this. How do I know field is perpendicular now? That also I should ask you first. How do you tell so with so guarantee that field is perpendicular only? If I ask you what is the field at point P, then what will be your answer for that?
Towards the rod.
Towards the rod, sir.
Towards the rod, sir, towards the rod.
Wait a second. Don't directly keep on saying towards this. Why is important then what? Why towards this? Why? Why towards this? Why not towards this? Why not? I told you.
Along the
I
line.
told you that for this cylinder. Sorry, Mike. I told you that for this sphere, for this solid sphere, it is.
Yes, sir.
But I did not
Understood.
say for such cases also it is towards center. And moreover, we don't know where is its center because it is infinite, and we don't know where is its center. I don't know how
Yes.
much it is above, how much it is below. Then why towards this side?
Feel like that I will say this.
Listen, this is the reason. I can
Because
take a
this is
small
a
element
small
here, and I
element
can
we
take a
can
small
take,
element.
sir.
Then, on this upper small element and on the lower small element, the forces will be, fields will be this side.
Only
Two components will get cancelled, sir.
This is DE, this is DE, theta, that component will add up,
DE
and the vertical
to
this
DE
component
cos theta.
will cancel up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so parallel components cancel and perpendicular gets added up. So finally it is towards the perpendicular direction only. So that is the reason. So we should be clear, means
Yes, sir.
not directly just say, but you should know why. So E dot ds is 0. So therefore, for the surface of a disk here, 0. For the surface of a disk below also,
0, sir. Only due to the remaining curved surface.
0 here, 0 here. Only due to curved it remains. So due to curved, it is simple now to tell integration.
It is 4 pi.
E taken out because E is constant into 2 pi
Do
RL
L.
equals to
into 2 pi RL. R I think
Equals to
small
S.
r. R is small r here. E into 2 pi small RL is equal to
4 pi into
G into
4 pi into G into
enclosed.
lambda L.
mass enclosed. What is the mass enclosed? Mass enclosed is equal to lambda into L.
L.
Yes, sir.
L gets cancelled out, then E comes out to be equal to G lambda into 2 divided by R.
Yes, sir.
That is
Lambda
E.
by
Is equal to 2G lambda by R. Right? So we got a new formula. This formula also important to remember. This formula also important to remember. We should remember it. So what is the how to draw the diagram for this? I think for this I can take a thick cylinder to draw the diagram. For rod I cannot say, because for that there
Here
should be
can
some
we
base
get
for this.
rectangular hyperbola?
It will be rectangular hyperbola type, yes, right. But actually I should think how it will be for the cylinder. Long cylinder now. Let us take for the long cylinder. Why I am taking for the long cylinder now? Because I am not interested in just outside point. I am interested in inside the cylinder also.
points.
What will be for the long cylinder? Infinite cylinder you take again. Infinite cylinder. It does not
There
end
is no
here. But
infinite length. Yes.
I cannot draw the whole diagram, so it is infinite only. And it has radius R. And I want to find for two cases. And R less than R. Inside point and outside point. For outside point, I think you can do the same thing again. So not a difficult task. I think you know exactly same thing. Same kind of Gaussian surface.
Again, cylinder you can take under.
Same method, same formula will come then again. R only, R distance away only. Then we can write length L of this Gaussian surface. What is the formula for E into 2
Into
pi
2 pi RL is equals to
minus E into 2 pi RL is equal to minus 4 pi
4 pi R G into
mass enclosed. Mass enclosed, wait a second. Rho is given, let us say. Rho is given, mass density is given. Mass per unit volume. We want answer in terms of this rho.
M into 2 pi R into
Then E comes out to be equal to
Rho into pi r square L
square into L, sir.
2 into pi
G.
into G into
Sir, pi
mass
cancels.
enclosed is
Pi will be cancelled.
Yeah.
Cancel.
pi
No, sir, no, sir. One more pi will be
L into rho
divided by 2 pi RL.
No, will cancel, sir, pi 2 S.
Yes, sir, only 1 pi will
divided by small r
R.
L.
All are into L. LL get
Then
cancelled.
E is equal to
So it comes by
G
2
into
pi square G rho by R.
pi
By R.
pi r square by r. Same as before, we were expecting this only. Why? Because rho into pi r square is actually equal to mass per unit length. That is actually equal to lambda. So it is same as before, 2g lambda by r, no difference at all. Same
Yes,
formula in
sir,
terms
yes,
of
sir.
lambda. But I want inside point. This was for outside point. For inside point. For that again same formula, E into
Then we take inside cylinder, sir.
minus 2 pi. Assume now. Do I need to make a diagram, or you can
We
assume?
can assume, sir. We can assume.
Can I assume?
Inside cylinder we take, sir.
This I am taking this in one in
Of
inner one.
L.
Length is same again. Let us say L only,
Yes.
and radius this time is up to small r only, but its dimensions are less than capital R. So E into 2 pi RL
Is equals to minus 4 pi G into
minus 4 pi into G into mass enclosed will be rho into pi r square L.
Into LS.
yes, sir.
Then E is equal to
It's a 2G rho pi R. Yes, sir. That one is rho pi R.
that only.
So, L
Yes,
gets
sir.
cancelled.
I equals to mx form.
That is directly proportional to L R.
That only I think.
Yes, sir. That one is, sir.
So we are getting already this one. Now the diagram. Diagram means the graph. The graph or cylinder, solid cylinder.
Almost same as sphere on sir.
Like this and like this.
Increases and next decreases.
Just values are different and graph is similar.
Yes, sir.
Next it is, what was the other one? Other one is 2g rho pi r square by r or 2g lambda by
Sir,
r.
that is rectangular hyperbola, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
We call this as rectangular hyperbola, sir.
it is rectangular hyperbola only. And the first one is a straight line.
To c square.
Okay. This is for solid cylinder. For hollow cylinder,
Okay,
I
sir.
forgot to mention, but you can tell me, I think, quickly for hollow cylinder what you expect. I think you can understand for hollow cylinder.
Then we take areal density now, sir.
Inside
No.
0, sir. Outside.
Yes, inside 0. For hollow, it will be inside
Yeah, yes,
0.
sir. Inside 0.
Inside 0, sir.
Outside
Outside decreases the same.
Mass enclosed will be 0 inside.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
inside the mass
But-
enclosed will be 0. That's all. Hollow cylinder, E versus R graph. So E inside is as usual 0. But yes, uniform hollow cylinder. That all these cases are for uniform.
So we are mentioning volume density, areal density.
What will be for a disk? No, not for a disk. Before disk, I will prefer another formula here. Can you think of a formula for a thick shell? For a thick shell. But with a last time also I took for thick shell, I think. But I took completely inside, or I took completely outside. This time I don't.
Disk you are saying, annular shell.
This time I don't want completely inside or completely outside, but I want at some intermediate point. Can you think of some way to find out that intermediate point?
Taking that
Close
closed point.
circle on that point only, sir. The point lie on the circle. That is
Closed
clear.
passing through that point.
You can find for that now, sir.
I can take a element.
Yes, sir, that only. Element passing through that point.
This element I can take, this elemental part. In this element, within this element, whatever the mass is enclosed, that mass only will be responsible for the field. So what is the mass enclosed in this spherical shell element? Let us take this up to red color, this color I am taking R, and inner radius A, outer radius B. So I can say R lies between A to B. For that I want to find out. And let us consider this cases, two cases I will take here. First I will take for solid spherical shell, then I will take for thick spherical shell, I should say, rather than solid. Thick spherical shell and thick cylindrical shell. After that, thick cylindrical shell. First, thick spherical shell. For thick spherical shell, what it will be? G 4 pi G into mass enclosed. Mass enclosed is rho into 4 by 3 pi R cube minus A cube.
A cube, sir.
Is equal to E into 4 pi R square.
Yeah, sir.
Because area, field times area of
Yes,
this
sir, yes.
4 pi R square. Then E comes out to be equal to.
4 pi cancel, sir.
Wait a second. I'm interested in symbol sign. It will be some constant k multiplied by rho multiplied by R cube minus A cube divided by that only.
You want like this. Then K will be
Divided by R square. That will be equal to k rho into R minus A cube divided by R square. This one it will be. Can you plot the graph from this? I think you can plot it from here now. But it is tricky because they ask this question. I have seen it that they are asking this question usually. They will ask this type of diagram they will give. And another diagram they will give, which is this kind of diagram.
yes, sir. That is for thick spherical shell. This is for
Sorry.
normal spherical.
All spherical, sir.
This no. this. Which one of these is valid? A to B, A to B. Now up to a 0 here also. But since the graph curvature is curved downward, open
Yeah, it was
upward.
upwards.
What kind of shape it will be having finally? That I can get idea only after knowing the slopes. That is, slope is decreasing with time, with distance, or the
You can
slope is increasing.
differentiate, sir. Yes, sir. You can differentiate and we can say.
Then I can find by slope dE by dr. dE by dr is equal to k rho
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
into 1 minus
1 minus a cube into
Minus a cube by
minus 2 by r cube, sir. And plus
R
2 a cube by r cube.
S.
Plus 2 a cube by r cube. Yes, sir.
So you tell me, with r increasing, as r increases, the slope increases or decreases?
Sir,
decreases.
slope is decreasing.
Decreasing, sir.
As r increases, slope is decreasing. So therefore, which graph should be valid? This one. Decreases. I'm not saying it becomes 0. It will
Decreases.
still be there.
Yes, sir. But very negligible there.
Not less, more. Not less and more. More and less.
Yes, sir.
This is correct and this is wrong.
First one.
First one is correct. Okay.
Yes. Understood.
Now, similarly, this part I'm leaving for you. Tomorrow I will ask you, have you done or not? This you do yourself. Thick spherical shell, I told you. Can you find for the thick cylindrical shell? Same logic.
Same procedure.
But formula will be different.
Yes,
Instead
sir.
of 4 by 3
We'll do it, sir. We'll do it.
Area
it will be
from
some. So
and
do it
volume
yourself. Okay. So
changes.
I am leaving for you. I am leaving for you graph of. You have to plot similar graph for thick
Cylindrical shell.
cylindrical shell. You have to plot the graph also. So to plot the graph, first you should derive the formula. Then you will be able to plot the graph. Now I will end this discussion with one last topic that is important: disk. What is for the disk? After that, I will end this discussion. For the disk, I want to find at a point P here. With disk is of uniform density sigma, what will be filled at point P?
It will be towards it, the center on it.
Let us take a small element here on the disk. Then I know filled will be towards this element here. Let us call it DE. But overall filled will be along
Center only, sir.
And
the
Russell.
center, towards the center only, perpendicular
Yes,
towards the
sir.
center. So
Downward will get cancelled.
what should I integrate? I should just integrate DE cos theta. Don't integrate DE total. Vector integration will be taken always component wise. So we have to integrate DE cos theta only. Why we are integrating DE cos theta? Because finally
It's along the direction
Be
only,
along
sir.
the center.
The
Yes, sir.
center
That
only
is
will
along
get
the center, sir.
yes, that will be equal to G into, I write this in terms of d omega also something. How do we write that, if you remember? Theta angle with this side. So with dA vector, it is forming an angle theta.
Sigma into
And I think
D.
I can write G into dm. First, let us start with that only. G into dm by oblique distance. This direct distance C to P, let us call direct distance from C to P as D. And let us call the
Yes, sir.
oblique distance to be as R. So G into dm by R square into cos theta. Which I
is
can write
equals to
as G into sigma into dA by R square into cos theta.
theta.
But
Equals to dA perpendicular.
d sigma outside, dA cos theta. If I take component of dA along cos theta direction, then automatically it becomes dA perpendicular to the along
Yes,
the radial
sir.
direction. It automatically becomes dA along radial direction upon R square. And if that happens, then we are happy. It is just d omega integral. Then finally it is just G sigma into net omega. What is net omega meaning here? Net omega means total angle separated by the
4 cone, sir, at the apex. 4 pi.
this is d, not 4 pi. Only by the
Pi only.
distance, not this total angle.
Okay, okay.
2 pi only, sir.
This will not be 2 pi also. How are you seeing random? This is theta angle, let's say, or this is alpha angle, let us say. The solid angle formula was, you are not remembering it. When semi-vertex angle of the cone is given as alpha, then what is the solid angle subtended there?
4 pi alpha.
No, not 4 pi. You don't remember it. You're saying randomly whatever comes to your mind. Okay, let us go back again to our derivation. Let us say this is the case. This is a cone here. And here it is subtended some angle here. What is this area on this, subtended on this? That will be mainly responsible for giving us So this shaded area divided by r square will be solid angle. Can you tell the solid angle of shaded area? What is the shaded area? Its angle of certainty is theta. What is the shaded area here?
It is pi r sin theta whole square.
What are you saying here?
A by r square, sir.
It is I have given you very important property for the finding of this area. I told you for the spheres. If I have a sphere and it is cut by two parallel planes separated by a distance d, then in general the formula is always this formula which I am telling you now. Remember it, and I don't know why you are forgetting it again and again. It is such a wonderful formula. The area of the portion of the sphere cut between these two planes will be always equal to two pi r into d.
Yeah, D, sir.
After I said, then you are saying. You should have said it before, huh?
So after drawing the diagram, I don't know.
This is d here. Other plane I can say to be tangent only. At the tangent, one plane is there and one plane is cutting here at a distance from something from here. Then this is 2 pi r into d again. What is this d here? This d will be total r minus r cos theta. It is r minus r cos theta. Then what is the area? Area is coming out to be 2 pi into r into d.
R
D
into
is
1 minus
r
cos theta.
cos theta. That is area. But I told you area divided by r square will be omega. Divided by r square will be omega. So what is it? 2 pi into
Cos theta, sir.
R by
2 pi into 1 minus
Yes,
cos
cos
theta.
theta.
1 minus cos theta, yes, sir.
That is this. When will you remember it? Never.
Now we'll remember, sir.
Yes, sir.
Remember it. It is this area we should not forget. This also we should not forget. We can derive also by integration. But that part I have done before, and if you say I can do it again also. In fact, I recommend you to derive it by integration by taking small strip elements, small ring elements here. Small ring elements you take and then take do the derivation. Answer should come out to be same as we got now. Try to do that also. So anyway, omega is equal to 2 pi into 1 minus cos alpha, where cos alpha we can write for this particular example. Cos alpha is equal to d divided by d square plus r square under the root. That is this. So we are getting filled as g sigma omega. Here I would like to say one thing. As long as we have a, whatever the shape may be, shape doesn't matter. As long as we have a plane surface, and from that plane surface we are at a perpendicular distance away d, 90-degree distance away d, and from d we are taking some, we can take this similar cones for that, or we can take for any random shape, and then we can say that this is, let us say here having this angle theta and this is d omega. Then again, if I want to take what is the field along perpendicular direction to this, the field along perpendicular direction to this will come out to be dE perpendicular, which will be again same as before, g into sigma into total omega only. Why directly I am saying that? Because last time we did not even use the condition that it was a circle or whatever the shape is. See how we did it. We did it g into sigma into dA r by r square, and that comes out to be g sigma omega. Does it depend whether it was a circle or it was a plane, and we are taking a point P at a perpendicular distance away from that plane, d perpendicular distance d away from that plane. And what we are finding out here? Here we are finding out E perpendicular. Last time there was one difference, that E perpendicular also comes out to be equal to the net E.
Yes, sir, that's only. But due to components may not cancel.
This time it is just E perpendicular, but I cannot guarantee that it has no
Net,
parallel
yes.
to the.
Yes, sir.
It has no
Not
parallel.
symmetric about.
Means it is just one component of the total field. So what is the total field? I really don't know, but I know what is the perpendicular component, that I can guarantee. That is also very good enough. If I know the perpendicular component, let us say somebody is asking this question, that here where mass is kept. and let us say this mass is kept on a frictionless horizontal surface, and there is a very heavy disk here, and it is just on some imaginary horizontal surface. It is or it is not a horizontal surface. It is in a gravity free space, and it is connected to this with a pipe, with a hollow pipe. If it is connected to this with a hollow pipe, can it move in any other direction other than this hollow pipe? No, it can move only in this in this direction only. So when this heavy mass disk is pulling it, then its acceleration is only confined to be in perpendicular direction, and that acceleration I can find out by knowing E perpendicular, because mass of this body into E due to the other body in perpendicular direction, that will be F perpendicular, and F perpendicular divided by mass will give us acceleration. It again comes out to be equal to E perpendicular only, and I can know the acceleration also. What is the acceleration acting on this? What is the difference between acceleration and field? I will tell you later on, but these are same, nearly same. Some minor differences there. I will tell you why. Because acceleration is frame dependent thing. Acceleration depends on frame. We know that, but field is not frame dependent. Field at a given fixed distance is always fixed only. That will be always g m by r square. But if I say what's the acceleration here, then that acceleration can be dependent on frame of reference. So when we say acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square, that actually is there relative to Earth. But it depends on frame, because if a person is himself falling with same acceleration downwards, with respect to that person, this acceleration will become zero, right or not? Relative acceleration will become zero. So that is, therefore, acceleration can change dependent upon frame, but the field is always independent of frame of reference. So I think this ends here, and I can take class in the evening today, as we do always, 1 hour class at least. Okay. At that time, I will be deriving the remaining formula.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then okay. Nilkanta?
Sir.
Nilkanta?
Sir.
Nilkanta?
Tell me, sir.
Was it okay for you, or was it fast? Was it okay for you, or was it fast?
Somewhat fast, sir.
Nilkanta?
Somewhat
fast only?
Yes, sir.
Then you tell me in between, you can tell me, no? Why are you not telling in the between? Now class ends and I am asking you and you did not respond in the class. Suddenly now you are saying that it is fast and I cannot repeat it again. Tell me there only where you are facing difficulty to understand. There only you tell me. Okay.
Sir, as I understood electrostatics, I know, sir.
You know all this.
Yes, sir.
Then where you found fast?
Yeah.
Then what thing you did not understand?
Understood, sir.
And then that only. Then what is meaning of fast means not understanding. That is meaning of fast. What else we mean by fast? If you are understanding, then why it would be fast for you? Okay. If not only
Okay.
understanding, then only this person.
Okay,
Then only
sir.
this person. So let me know if you are not understanding anything.
Yes, sir.
Okay then, huh?
Okay, sir.